And more breaking news coming in. The death toll of Israeli officers and soldiers when it comes to the ongoing offensive against the Hamas group has now reached 308, ladies and gentlemen. That's the big piece of breaking news coming in as the war continues to escalate, as the aerial bombardment continues. Hamas continues to fire rockets from the Gaza Strip. At the same time, the IDF is preparing for ground operations in Gaza to flush out the Hamas and recover those Israeli civilians who have been taken hostage by the terror group. And now what we are learning is that amid this raging war, which is now opening up into a two-front war with attacks coming in from Lebanon controlled by the Hezbollah group, now what we are learning is that the death toll of Israeli officers and soldiers has risen to 308. So the death toll continues to rise. The death toll is also rising in the Gaza Strip, ladies and gentlemen, as Israel continues its aerial bombardment, targeting Hamas strongholds, but also many civilians dying in the crossfire as well. I'm joined by my colleague Abhishek Jha on the broadcast. So Abhishek, even as the IDF continues to mount that offensive against the Hamas group in Gaza, at the same time, in the military operations, Hamas is also drawing a lot of blood from the IDF.
Well, we have seen about 4,700 people in Gaza. They have been killed in the counteroffensive that Israel has launched in the wake of 7th October terrorist attack. About 1,400, that is the figure that official sources are putting. The 1,400 Israelis, they have been killed in the terrorist attack, and afterwards, about 300 soldiers. That is the figure that is also coming. They have been killed 222. That is the number of detainees or hostages that are that could be under Hamas captivity. So the situation there is very fluid, very high tension is happening. We have also seen certain Israeli attacks also started happening towards the Hezbollah's location in Lebanon. Then there were reports of Israeli army starting ground operation in Bethlehem. But in the entire episode of the last 15 days, what has become now the center of the world's discussion is the human or the civilian casualties that has become collateral damage of the war against terrorism from the Israeli side, and about 3,000 to 4,000 people in Palestine who have been killed and scores who have been injured that are now being raised. This has raised question on Israel's precision on the attack against Hamas terrorists in Gaza.
Right, and at the same time, Abhishek, we're also learning that the Russian foreign minister is heading to Iran. We've seen all the top Western leaders head to Israel. So you can see how the balance of powers is being addressed from both sides as this conflict continues to rage.
Well, because of the problem in the region, there is a lot of states that are involved in this region. That includes Israeli, Syrian, Iraq, Iran, and other powers in the region who influence the policies and who could be very much influenced by the war that is currently ongoing in between Israel and Hamas. And that is a reason why these many bigger countries and economies of the world who have high stakes in the region, especially Russia, China, USA, they are trying to ensure that escalation doesn't spill out of the zone and it doesn't become a full-scale war between nations in the region. And Russian foreign minister's visit to Iran could be seen in that light also. He's going to meet their Iranian foreign minister, Turkish foreign minister, and also Armenian foreign minister. So another war or conflict that has happened in Armenia, where Nagorno-Karabakh region entirely has been vacated by the people of Armenian origin. That is also one of the area of discussion that the leaders or the foreign ministers will be having in Tehran today.
Right, but at the same time, Abhishek, we've seen what Ayatollah Khamenei has said when it comes to the global jihad against Israel as the IDF continues the offensive in the Gaza Strip. So do you sense that the Russian foreign minister's visit is to ratchet down the tensions in the region or to provide support to Iran, because we have seen how the Western powers are openly supporting Israel?
Well, there is no denying of the fact that while the major powers of the world, especially Russia, China and USA, they are trying to de-escalate the situation there and they are trying to bring down the temperature. At the same time, they have also been backing up their partners with the kind of military support that they could provide. We have seen US's major ships or the battleships raiding in Mediterranean Sea. We have seen UK sending warships there. Now the reports also suggest that China is also sending its battleships towards Mediterranean Sea. So while there is Russian side which has long been aligned with the Iranian side, They have backed Iran on multiple foreign policy while not, backing them with the terrorist, groups like Hamas. They still try to show solidarity to the regimes in the region where they have been there, they have had their interest. We have recently heard stories how Iran has backed Russian ground operation in Ukraine. Iran has backed them with ammunition and many, UAV drones. So the collaboration between these nations have been very strong, and for any eventuality that can flare up the situation in that region and the conflict can become a full-scale war, the countries are trying to, ensure that their side, their stakes or their interests are well safeguarded, and in that context, Russian foreign minister's visit to Iran should be seen.
Absolutely. But with the Russian foreign minister's visit to Iran, with the mobilization of Chinese warships, you can see a lot of tensions in the region where the Hamas terror group is the wild card, and it could go any way given the escalating situation.